What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from the 107 MMA channel. I just saw this video, this interview earlier this morning, and I had to make a breakdown about it and about the crazy, honestly, crazy ramblings of Sean Strickland and what they have devolved into. Now, I've made a couple videos recently about Sean Strickland, essentially pointing out that it seems like he's having some sort of a break from reality. He's continuing to talk, I think, about things that he doesn't really have any firm knowledge about, but in doing so confidently. And look, this is a thing that a lot of people do. A lot of people will have really strong opinions about certain things or issues without doing fundamental research. This is part of what's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. The less you know about something, sometimes the more expert you think you are at it. Fighting is a great example. Most people think they can fight, but then when you actually start training and learning, you're like, oh, you realize how little you know. But anyways, I digress. Sean has been doing this for a long time. And the problem is, because of his fame and his notoriety, people listen when he speaks. And I've said that there's a danger to that. There's a responsibility that comes with that audience and with that influence. In my opinion, people could disagree. People can call me a snowflake, but I'm going to make my case. And you guys can decide at the end if you agree or disagree with my take. But I do think that at this point now, the things that Sean says in this video, I think people should take note. I think the things that he says about in terms of Chimaev and how that fight would go, his thoughts on Izzy, which I'm going to cover all of that in this video. They're all completely detached from reality. And I don't know if Sean is building some sort of a delusional reality around things that make him feel comfortable and confident in himself, or he's just literally speaking nonsense that he knows is not true just to get headlines and to get people to watch. I don't know what the strategy is, but what's baked into this interview as well, which I don't appreciate growing up in a Muslim family myself, is the negative things that, and be honest, the straight up racist things that he says about Muslims and Muslim fighters. And it's weird because he claims he's buddies with Magomed Ankalaev, and then he says all these things that to me are inappropriate. I would say it would be okay if you're on a one-on-one basis or something with Sean and you guys are buddies and you're Muslim and he's just saying things he doesn't mean. And I can understand that. But when you're talking negatively about somebody like Chimaev or these other fighters from that region, and I don't think he's playing around. I don't think it's playful banter. I think he means it. And it's just ridiculous. Like, how is this going down? And he just thinks it's okay to do this. I'm not asking for repercussions from the UFC or anywhere else, but like, how do you not have the common sense or other people step in and be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, grow up a little bit, be a little bit more of a man and of an adult. And you don't just have to spew out this venom indiscriminately about people that is offensive when you're maybe trying to target a singular person. Like, let's just be a little more intelligent with our words and our thoughts. And on top of that, let's be real, you know? And the other reason why it's such a perfect time to make a video like this is we just saw two people win in the UFC that are such amazing role models and the epitome to me of what a true martial artist is. I'm talking about Yuri Prohashka and Alex Pereira. These are guys that don't mince their words, that don't lie, that don't have delusions of grandeur, that just speak from the heart. Maybe they believe things like Yuri believes that he can beat Alex, and I don't know if he can, but like that's coming from an internal place of self-belief. You know, the things that I think Sean is saying, and it's breaking from that mold, is I think he's saying things just to throw them out there to almost insult Chimaev, maybe in some warped reality, trying to convince people that he's a better fighter than Chimaev. But I don't think he actually believes any of what he says. That's me being subjective. I could be wrong. But anyways, let's get into the mix. I'm going to show all these different clips that I've selected, and you guys can decide for yourself. So this is the first one where he, again, goes off on a tangent, seemingly to be obsessed with Khamzat Chimaev, and also throws in this nice little jab about Muslim fighters. He calls them cave dwellers. It's pretty clever. Okay, check this out for yourself.
Khamzat Chimaev call him out as well, but I don't think that there's as much desire in that one with Khamzat moving up. He hasn't even defended the belt yet.
Yeah, dude, fucking Chimaev, dude. Made me realize I should wrestle, dude. You know, dude, that little fucking whore, dude. I can't stand fucking Chimaev, you son cunt. You know, I think what annoys me about Chimaev, there's nobody that could beat him. You know, like I've trained with all the guys he's gonna fight. Like I've trained with Chimaev, dude. For one round, the guy could grapple. For one round, dude. Once you get over that one round of scramble, he just quits. It just turns into a kickboxing match, like what he did with the 55 or the 70 or what's his name, Gilbert.
Yeah.
Like once he realizes he can't like fucking maul you and you don't quit, he quits and turns into a boxing match. And I just don't know if there's anybody at that division other than me that like knows what it's like to grapple those fuckers. I've been training with those fucking cave dwellers my whole fucking life, dude. Like these motherfuckers live in this.
We saw Khamzat Chimaev.
Again, he's saying he's boys with them and he calls them cave dwellers. Now, look, I can see, again, I'm not trying to be overly sensitive here. I suppose if you're boys with Sean Strickland, you guys have these inside jokes and you know he doesn't mean it and whatever, but he's just throwing that out there nonchalantly, okay? On top of that, does anybody believe what he's saying? You believe that Chimaev goes in there, grapples for a round, and then all of a sudden now he quits? By the way, going to a kickboxing match would not be quitting. That'd be if you're exhausted and you still need to fight. You go to striking. How would anybody call that quitting? People would call quitting giving up, giving your back, giving your neck, allowing yourself to be submitted. So I don't even know what he's talking about. But yeah, I could see a fighter going heavy with that style, maybe trying to grapple, and then you have to switch to kickboxing and then going back. Now, he's also, I think, probably referencing what happened with Kamaru Usman, but that was actually a very specific situation. He had a hand injury. He was also sick. So I'm sure there was multiple factors. Didn't happen with Durkas. He grappled for 5 rounds. So does anybody believe what Strickland's saying? I clearly don't. On top of that, if you remember the Schmo interview, I didn't pull that clip, but if you remember the interview with the Schmo not too long ago, where he was like, hey, what did you think of me and Chimaev? He's like, what, you want me to say it? And he's like, yeah, go ahead and say it. He's like, well, I think you did pretty good on the feet, but when it got to the ground, he got the better of you. And Sean's like, you're right? He tapped me out. He's something like that. Sean admitted it. So now Sean's saying that he beat him all the time in sparring. Khamzat saying the other way. Sean previously, that he was the one that winning. Sean has previously admitted that it was Khamzat that was winning. I mean, where is this coming? Does anybody believe this? So again, I think there's something going on in his mind where he thinks that anybody is actually buying this, because he's on camera film saying the exact opposite of this. So this is the first clip that I wanted to point out. Just complete break from reality, and also a little sprinkles of racist nonsense in there to boot. Okay, let's go on to the second clip. This is another part where I just think is total cap. He's saying that Izzy's been wanting to fight Strickland. Strickland has been essentially not responding. Now he goes on to say he's going to fight Fluffy. And he goes on to say, oh, I don't want Izzy, even though it's probably an easier fight. But no, I want to fight Fluffy because it lines me up for the title better. Izzy's had a couple losses. What? Does that make any sense? We all know, I'm going to play the clip in a second. We all know this is a complete nonsense. And I'm going to tell you why after I play the clip. And in reality, why he should still fight Izzy if what the nonsense he's spinning is actually true, but I don't believe it is. Check this out.
Yeah, I think it's an easier fight for me, but like I want to fight that little Chechen whore. Like I just like, so that's kind of where I'm at. I want to fight somebody like Fluffy. Fluffy puts me in title contention, especially with him, because all he does, he's like the American fucking, he's like the American Chimaev. So you go and I just out wrestle that fucker for like 5 rounds, and then it's like, all right, fuck you, whore. Go beat your cans, and then let me know when you're ready. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more fights that put me back in title contention.
Yeah, Izzy said he was moving on from you. He wanted to fight you, but do you just not see the upside? I mean, you fought him.
Dude. Like he's coming off losses, man. Like, I think Izzy just, go paint your fucking nails, pet your dog, like go be a superstar. Like I want to fight Chimaev. And, a lot of it, I feel almost like a personal vendetta because I'm the only fucking one that beat Chimaev. And again, Chimaev knows this, like his camp knows this, like everybody fucking knows this, dude. I'm the only one that fucking beat you. I've wrestled with all the guys that he's going to fight, and he's just going to, yeah, I think it's easy.
Okay, so he says everybody knows that he wrestles with Chimaev. He beats him. Chimaev obviously has never said that. He said actually the opposite. This is why Sean originally got his feelings hurt and why he's trying to come after Chimaev nonstop. But going back to Izzy, again, to me, I feel like the delusions keep piling on. You're saying that Izzy's had a couple losses. It's an easier fight, and you want to get in line for the title. Izzy is a 10 times bigger star than Fluffy. Now, you might say, yeah, Fluffy was about to fight RDR. They were about to have theoretically a #1 contenders fight. Like you could say that, but does anybody believe that Sean beating Izzy would not immediately put him in line for a title shot? There's bad blood there. There's a beef. We have the White House card. Sean is a star. That'd be a huge fight. I don't believe it for a second. What's my only other conclusion? I just don't think he believes he can beat Izzy. On top of that, I think the kickboxing team felt that Izzy was off that day, that Izzy would beat Sean if they rematch. I think Sean believes that somewhere deep down, and that's why I think he doesn't want to risk that because right now he's got to win over Izzy. So I think he doesn't want to put that on the line. That's my 2 cents. And I'm only having to go to this level and make this conclusion because everything else is clearly demonstrably not true. So I'm more inclined to believe that this is, again, cap as well. Okay, so here's another one of those delusional clips. Now we're going to move on to the next clip here. And in this one, we continue the anti-Muslim rants. It just blows my mind. I know he claimed he used to be a Nazi back in the days, like a reformed Nazi. He realized, he said in an interview, much to his credit, that there was a lot of minorities and so on and so forth that were actually the ones that were helping him versus his fellow race itself. And so that got him to change his mind and be like, wait a minute, this is not the right way to think, or there's some flaw here in this line of logic. I know he's really good friends with Chris Curtis, obviously, and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool that he talks about it openly and seems to be reformed. But then what are we to make of these statements? Like, we're just going to brush them under the rug? All right, check this out.
Dude, it's so offensive, dude, that there's just so many fucking Muslim, no, guys, don't get me fucking started on this shit, dude. Like, America.
That's so offensive? Is that like, we're just gonna, like, Mike Bond's laughing at that statement? It's so offensive that we have so many Muslim fighters. What if you went out and said that about another? Why is it okay to say that about Muslim people? Imagine if you went, it's so offensive that there's so many, fill in the blank. I'm not even gonna say that. It's just, or fill in the blank with a creed or nationality or race. Like, what is happening? How is Mike Bond laughing at this?
UFC started in America by a Brazilian, but they're kind of Americans. But no, fucking dude, it's so offensive, dude.
Okay, so again, that's just a short one, but what is going on with these takes? I think we're just having more and more breaks from reality, and I don't know the explanation. I don't know why, but I don't like it. And then on top of this, think about what's going on with this lawsuit with the Derek Moneyberg. It's again Sean Strickland speaking out of turn, saying nonsensical, crazy, borderline offensive things. In that case, I think he's going to have to face some repercussions. Here, probably not. But again, now let's continue on. Durka Durkastan, listen to what he has to say here. The racism continues.
Dude, it's so offensive, dude, that there's just so many fucking Muslim, no, guys, don't get me fucking started on this shit, dude. Like, America.
Wait, did I get the wrong clip again? Hold on. It is boop, boop, boo. Hold on. Wait, this one is okay, wait, I think I messed that one up. Hold on. I will get us out of this and I'll cue up the clip for you here. Give me 1 second. Okay, it is at 8:19. I have it written down here. Boom, check this out.
I mean, at some point when the entire roster is fucking from Durka Durkastan and Ahmed's, like, at some point, dude, are we still, like, you know, like, at what point do you give a fuck? Like, once there's no more Chuck Liddells, like, once there's no more, like, the, you know, John Jones is, like, do you really want to watch fucking Ankalaev, Maga? I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't give a fuck if you're the best fighter in the world, dude. I'd rather go watch a hockey game and watch an American fucking the Knights play.
Because they're Muslim and now they have a different sounding name and then you're just no longer interested? What is this? Somebody explain to me what's happening here. This is like, I mean, it's literally like if you go back to the 1950s or the 60s, it'd be somebody, imagine somebody saying that now. Oh, we're going to be letting these non-white players into the NBA, and then it's this guy and that guy with this weird name and that weird name, and then blah, blah, blah. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch the. Imagine somebody saying this right now about the NBA or anything else. This is absolute insanity. I'm getting actually heated here. And look, guys, I really don't want to be the channel going off and being negative and you know, bringing light to these types of things. But I saw this. My family's Muslim. I just don't see a place for this. And I don't understand why Mike Bond or other guys are just sitting here laughing while he's saying this crazy stuff. It's, I don't know. All right, now we get on to more talk about Khamzat, more delusions of grandeur, more nonsense. Watch the Khamzat obsession continue for the next 25 seconds.
Chechen fucking whore have a belt. You know, I mean, dude, and then like where does he live? Saudi, where does he live?
He lives in Dubai now.
Dubai, dude, you fucking coward. You flee your country, you run to Sweden, you go back, you have to go suck off a dictator, and then you fucking have to go hide from your dictator in Dubai. Like we just don't need that as a champion, bro. Like, that's real bad. Like, every time I see his face, I'm just like, we got a whore as a champion. It's real in that little
He talks about that guy a lot. I guess maybe he's trying to light up a title shot, but does anybody believe these narratives that he's spinning? Yes, he obviously did go to Sweden. That is true. From like, you don't know anything about, I don't either, but you don't know anything about what it's like to grow up in a war-torn country and have to run for your life and have soldiers come to your house like Chimaev is described. Like, what is this? And then he's saying that he went to Sweden, and then he went back, and then he had to run from Chechnya to go to the UAE. this is all just a made up fabrication nonsense. Chimaev doesn't even feel the need to explain, because I think everybody knows that this whole narrative makes no sense. He just relocated to a new place that accepted him. The UAE loves him. He still has obviously he went back and brought the belt back to Chechnya. He still's got a relationship there. So it's a figment of his imagination in terms of what's going on. And I'm saying all this because, as obvious as this is to me, you, and most people, there is a small fraction of the community that is buying what he's saying. Probably this very small subset of Sean Strickland diehard fans that probably actually believe what he's saying is believing this. And I'm just here to say, don't believe it, because it doesn't make any sense. Look at it through the lens of logic. All right, let's keep it going. Now we're going to get into another, I think, kind of a funny clip. This is how Sean Strickland claims that he would apparently, if he were to fight Chimaev, would beat Chimaev. Does anybody believe Sean Strickland would beat Chimaev? I mean, anything can happen in a fight, but what do you think the odds would be? I'm guessing Sean Strickland against Chimaev, if Chimaev would be like a minus 700, maybe minus 650, minus 700 favorite. Do you disagree?
Finish the guys. Do you want to beat him up for 5 rounds? What would be like the perfect win over him?
I think it'd be a decision, but I think I'd beat the fuck out of him. You'd have one hard round of just hard fucking grappling. Like, you would see it, and then eventually he would just like, all right, this ain't gonna happen. Every time we spar, we'd have one hard round of grappling, and then, but dude, Chimaev's just a bitch, bro. Like, I'll give you an example. Why Chimaev's a little fucking bitch. We're warming up, and he's just like trying to knock me out, and I bloody him up. I'm like,
by the way, this is the beginning of another story that's going to be in point 7 that I want to bring attention to. Think about this story, and then we're going to get to the next part of a continuation of this. But think about it and ask yourself if you believe this actually happened in any sense in the way that Sean's describing it.
yo, Chimaev, like, chill, dog. This is just the warm up. We're gonna spar. And he took it as offensive. Like, he's like, oh well, we'll go fucking fight in the cage. I'm like, it's cool, dog. I got you. And then I look around when the rounds start, and he's in the cage beating up some fucking 70-year. He's just like such a fucking bitch, bro. Like, he's not a fucking man.
Okay. So just rewind for a second. He said they sparred. He got up. He's like, hey, take it easy. He took offense to it. Apparently, that made him blow up by Sean saying, calm down. So he said, he wants to fight in the cage. So he says, okay. Then they're saying I'll meet you in the cage. Then as the round's about to start, all of a sudden, Khamzat immediately finds a new opponent. And on top of that is beating the crap out of him within this like small time frame. None of this makes any sense unless you're dealing with a complete madman who has like you know what I mean? Just can't manage their emotions or mentality or control whatsoever. The whole, or it's a made up nonsensical lie that's basically being made up on the spot, and it doesn't connect logically, because when you try and fabricate something on the fly like that and you can't put it together quickly enough, you're going to create a story that is absolutely nonsensical. If you ever listen to police interrogations of people that are lying to cover up a crime, what do you hear from the police officers? That story you're telling me, wait, so then you went home and then you went back to the place because you forgot something, but it happened to be at the same time of the murder. I don't understand. This story doesn't make sense. Yeah, but well, that's because I was thinking. And then we get into this granular thing of a story or a purported alibi that is absolutely illogical because they're thinking on the fly. They're trying to make something up, put a particular spin on it, and nothing connects because you're lying. In this case, he just isn't having an interrogator or somebody follow up and be like, wait a minute, wait, what exactly happened? Break it down for us. He's just getting away with it, but we all know it doesn't make any sense.
Or like, I mean, this is why I want you guys to understand why I hate this little whore so much. There was a Chechen fighter. He's actually on Contenders. Lived in America, and I just fucking ragged all.
Okay. We're going to get to the second part of the clip. I had to cut something out because he says a word that YouTube does not like. Okay. And now we go to the conclusion of the story. So he's ragdolling this guy and whatever. And then now this is what he says to the guy. The guy's also Chechen, so I guess this is what he says to him.
Like, oh, man, I thought for a Chechen you'd be able to grapple better. And then Chimaev, we had a group message, and he sent me like a message saying like, fuck you, don't ever insult Chechnya, which is funny because you fucking.
He said, for a Chechnyan, I thought you could wrestle better. How is that an insult about Chechnya? Right? He's claiming that, hey, Chimaev got upset, like you're saying an anti-Chechnyan thing. He's actually saying Chechnyans normally have good wrestling, and this guy didn't have very good wrestling, so he thought should have better wrestling because he's Chechen, from Chechnya. It's not an insult about Chechnya. So again, you're saying that Chimaev got offended about your comments about the country of Chechnya here, but this has nothing to do with Chechnya. This was a person-specific comment. Again, the story makes absolutely no sense. But listen to it. It gets the logic crumbles even more as we get further into the story.
And fled, you pussy. maybe you should take your own advice. But he's like, never insult Chechnya, blah blah blah. And then I actually kicked Chris Curtis and Jason Manley out of the group chat because they were trying to diffuse it. And I sent him a private message. I'm like, listen here, dude, I'll see you at 3:00 in the gym. Don't bring you and your homies to hold you back like what you did with Costa. Just me and you. I'll see you at the end. We'll see what the fucking happens, you fucking pussy. And then he just fucking, well, it was a misunderstanding. It's okay. He's just a fucking bully, dude. Like, you see it when he fights. Look at Gilbert. Like,
okay, like that needs no explanation. Listen, he said, and then all of a sudden he just goes, oh, it's okay. It's a misunderstanding out of nowhere. The dots are not connecting. On top of that, I think if Chimaev needed to handle something, you think he would back away when these guys spar hard all the time? It's like, I just wish people in general, forget about UFC fighters, just people in general, adults, men, people who are actually trying to be upstanding men in this society and in our community would just have a little bit more thought about the words that come out of their mouth. Because they're not, we shouldn't actually, you can do whatever you want. But I think we should have a higher standard than that. We shouldn't just lie. We shouldn't make up things. Now, if you want to say he's trying to build a fight or talking smack so he can get a shot with Chimaev, I can kind of agree, but where does it stop? Where are we just gonna go on, put on a complete charade of nonsense and falsehoods to try and get anything we want? I like the example that Alex Pereira sets. I like the example that Yuri Prohashka sets. Yeah, you can have a couple smack talkers here and there, and I used to really like the way that Sean Strickland did things. Like, he was very outspoken, but I didn't feel as though it was fabrications. It was nonsense. Maybe it was a lot of ill-informed things. But now I think he's crossed the line where either he's just intentionally making stuff up and having fun with it, or something is going on and he's losing his touch with reality. I want to end on one thing, by the way, as we wrap this up. Obviously, Sean Strickland is buddies with Justin. They train together at Extreme Couture. This has nothing to do with Justin. This is me, my own personal take, and I hope that there is no confusion here, that I know Justin holds Sean Strickland in the highest regard. And look, I still want to watch Sean fight. I'm still a fan, but I feel on this channel, I wanted to make a video about this, just stemming from the fact that this is also my heritage that he's talking about. And I don't appreciate it, especially when it's coming from a place of just complete, I don't know, jealousy of Chimaev and just bizarre emotions, maybe that he has trouble processing and is now coming out in this form. So I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to say what it is, but I just want to say this is nothing to do with Justin. I'm sure he feels completely differently. It is what it is. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is Sean having a break from reality? Is Sean just building hype? Is Sean just doing his thing? Are you guys for this? Are you guys against this? Let me know your thoughts. I'm just here to share it. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.